Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome to the video. This time with the Hasbro Lightning Collection Red Ranger from Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. Let's get started. I've had this guy for a while. So pretty much enjoying it, had a lot of fun, but I guess I just got to review it. I mean, I took some pictures of it personally, and you'll probably see some that I took now, most recently, because I was waiting to size up with some more stuff, hoping more other stuff would come out, but it didn't really work out. But yeah, reviewing it now. If you've watched any of the Lightning Collection video, you already know what you're getting into. I'm just here to show you what you get. So this one will probably be pretty sweet and short. So let's get started. We have our standard Mighty Morphin look, which I've actually very much enjoyed as of late. I think Hasbro's really nailed that design down with these and with the new bodies, as seen on, it's actually moving over to some of the Marvel Legends stuff as well. So it's pretty cool to see a bunch of these things. We have our standard head articulation, which goes up and goes down. You can go left and you go right. You can tilt it just a little bit, get that little bit of extra room for when you're having that dynamic look. We have our really nice arm articulation, which goes up. We have a bicep swivel, which is very clean. We have double joints, so you can flex them if you got them, obviously. It comes all the way down, and there is a butterfly joint that goes inward and outward, inward and outward. You have a standard Figma-like peg that Hasbro's been giving us for a while now. We have our nice, what I would call the Lightning Collection articulation, where this kind of rotates around, and you have a very nice room for articulation by having another ab joint on top of it. So we actually have a lot of room for wiggle here. For leg articulation, our leg can go about this far out, and then you have to pull it up. You can go forward up, then you got to pull out. And as you can see here, it does not get too much range. So that's the part that pretty much kind of a bummer on top of anything else. But we do get nice forward range, and it's double jointed as well. We have our leg articulation, and we have our super generous Hasbro ankle pivot, which is the standard for most people. And as you can see here, despite the legs not being able to go crazy far, this guy can still get pretty posed up with the upper torso moving the way it does. Excuse me. So voila, we can still get some red dino action, as you can see here. Get them all posed out. Oop, there we go. Voila. So these are the kind of things I really enjoy about the Lightning Collection. It's come out very nicely, and it shows in their figures that the range of motion can kind of make up for the lack of other things. It's very nice. Now, we're going to jump into our accessories, which are, again, very short and sweet, but super duper nice. We have our power sword. We all know and love this. We've all seen Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. If we haven't, you know, from Zoo Ranger, it is the Red Ranger sword. I'm sorry, the Red Tyranno Ranger sword. Then we have a nice lightning effect that kind of adds on to that. Now, this is kind of their staple thing. They've been giving lightning effects to certain figures. And as you can see, you kind of poke it through these certain angles, and voila, it comes down. You slide it down, voila. And like Voltron, you have a blazing sword. Especially when you want to finish off your enemies with a classic finisher, right? Those two nice things. We get a nice standard set of closed fists, and these are the open fists for carrying those weapons, as you saw. We have our unmasked head, which is a repackage from the 2-pack. Mine has a little bit of smudge on it, but I got an extra. So, because I'm going to learn how to paint, try to repaint this a little bit. But I do have an extra, so I'm not too worried. And as you can see, standard Jason head, which I think actually came out pretty good. And then you have your power blaster in blaster mode. If you've got the SDCC one, it actually gives you it in the enclosed mode. But I don't know why they're packaging them with this one. It would have been nice if we had got both, or even the blade form, even the combined one. I like that they're packaging them differently, but for people to buy multiples of each, it kind of sucks. But then again, this is a children's toy line, so we shouldn't be too mad, even as adult collectors, right? This guy poses up very nice, very clean. Let's show you what he looks like now, next to other figures. Size comparison time, yay, yay. So, get him all nice and posed up, have him standing straight up. Oop, I got him flexed out, that's not a good idea. But I was trying to get him to sit flush as possible so he can look good, all posed up next to everybody else. So voila, he's standing up. Let's actually lift this up a little bit for that way, just in case we get taller characters, right? And my diorama is a bit of lopsided. So I'm going to try to place them as evenly as possible so you can see all the differences. Now, first thing I'm going to do is size up other Lightning Collection. So here we are with a putty. You know, those guys, in case you never knew the name. Here he is next to Pink Ranger. And as you can see, he has some height over the Pink Ranger because he was taller than her actually in the show, so it works out. my modified Black Ranger, which is swapped out with Shadow Ranger arm parts. So you guys can know what that is for those who didn't know. Here he is next to, well, alongside Green Ranger. I won't say next to, but alongside the Green Ranger. And as you can see, size-wise, they kind of all, even if they're the same height, they're not too much of the same height. Everybody's slightly different, and I kind of like that. It's not all that same uniform size no matter what we get. Everybody's a slightly different size. Even with helmets tilted and armor a certain way, we have a nice different height look, and I very much enjoy that. So it's a little bit of information like that that I've come to enjoy. Let's put these guys away. Next up, a little bit more Lightning Collection stuff. I'm going to do Goldar and Lord Zed. So with Goldar, here we go. Can't wait to send you out to get repainted. And then we have Lord Zed as well. These guys look very nice. They're much bigger, much more intimidating. But as always, the Power Rangers never feared. So there we go. Then we're going to size them up next to a Marvel Legends, also a Hasbro product, Spider-Man. As you can see, this is using one of their older bodies, but still equally as nice, and they stand close to the same height. Next up, going to do an SH Figuarts Ryu for those of you that play the mobile games and do the mobile game stuff, right? In case you want to get your crossover on and you really like that kind of stuff, voila. I think Ryu actually fits in pretty well here. I think this is the one time the SHF actually really works well with the US counterparts. Here's a look with an SH Figuarts Kamen Rider Kuga. Voila. And he has a significant amount of height over Kuga, but it could work in your force perspective or action shots. If you're going to stand him straight up, you might have an issue here. Let's actually fix that. Well, there we go. Much better. Then we have here 1000 toy synthetic human, which can be used as a bad guy, good guy, army builder, whatever you want. It's your universe. Let's rock. Then we have an articulated icons ninja. Also can be used as good or bad, depending on how you go about it, right? And you can also put human heads on the AI ninjas, which is pretty cool, right? Gonna take these guys away. We're gonna do our last couple comparisons. This one being a Mythic Legions with Vorgus, a knight type body. And Vorgus, even with the legs spread out like that, that kind of slipped down, he has a significant amount of height over the Red Ranger. So just be careful with that. So Vorgus is actually pretty much bigger, but he looks really good with them. Can be used as a villain. So if you have any bad guy knights or vampire stuff like that, keep that in mind. Then we're going to do a Mezco Me featuring the Gomez body. As you can see, height-wise, I'm a tad bit taller, but it seems to work. And if you want a nice comparison for monsters like Kaiju, SH Figuarts Ultraman monsters actually look pretty good with these guys. Even if they are a bit smaller, they look pretty cool. So keep that in mind. In the meantime, guys, I hope you enjoyed this nice short review. Hope you found it informative. And as always, guys, be good, do good, drink your water. Later.